We are here at Ubin to look for doggos, but not just any doggo. We're looking for a special dog that Singapore can call its own. Well, let's find out about that in our little red jungle.
Wow, look, down here so many plants and animals.
Hey, hello! So, in mainland Singapore, we do have some stray or feral dogs around. And they usually hang around our parks and sometimes they chill near the roadside. And these dogs, they tend to usually avoid humans. But when you do see them, you might find it hard to pinpoint what breed these dogs are exactly. Well, these dogs are legitimately called Singapore Special. And they're not exactly a breed. Because these dogs are actually descendants of the village doggos from the good old kampong days. So they are not a breed because the Singapore Special wasn't deliberately bred into what it is today, right? It's actually more of like a natural mishmash or a chapalang of like many different kinds of free-roaming dogs through time. So they are basically our local mongrels. And since their roots come from our good old kampong days, the best place to find some doggos would then be at Pulau Ubin, where we're at right now, right? So if you're ready, let's find some doggos. Woo! So the dogs at Ubin are definitely very chill with humans as compared to some of the strays on our mainland Singapore. And it seems like some of them have even become like this unofficial welcoming mascots onto the island, or even as like guides when you hike. Like Bagel, who was on the news recently. Are you Bagel? Are you Bagel? You wanna guide me? Are you Bagel? Are you Bagel? Oh, is it Bagel? I don't know. Hello. But okay, although the dogs here at Ubin are pretty chill, it's still important to know how to act properly around free roaming dogs, especially if you are scared of them. And the first is to remain calm and to not run, right? Because dogs being dogs, a lot of them like to chase, right? And whether they are aggressive or not, or they're actually just playful and they want to play with you, if you run, most likely they will also run. Now, secondly, and this applies to many other animals too, like your monkeys, is to avoid eye contact, right? Because for many animals, eye contact is like a sign that you want to challenge them. Likewise, don't start shouting at them, right? Because it's the same for humans if you actually think about it. Hey, you stare what stare? You're not happy, is it? Hey, you shout for what? You buay song ah? Okay, but with that aside, it's all very situational, right? And every dog is an individual and they all have their own personality, especially with mongrels like that of a Singapore Special. But clearly, as you can see with the dogs of Ubin, they are perfectly lovable. Aww. So another thing that some of you may be asking is, stray dogs can feed one or not? Especially, in Singapore, we are not really allowed to feed wild animals. But with the stray dogs, like these Singapore Specials, it's a bit tricky, right? But yes, they are not pets, but they've always lived alongside humans. And I confirm you, back in the day, in the kampongs, sure got people who feed them before one, right? That's how domestication happens, right? It's because we would feed wild dogs. But to be honest, even without us feeding them, these Singapore Specials are great scavengers of human food anyway. Like, there's a reason why they hang around the houses at Pulau Ubin, right? They are very self-sustainable. But if you intend to feed these free-roaming dogs, especially on the mainland, and if they get too fearless and happy to come into our neighbourhood areas, such accidents like that of them attacking our neighbourhood cats might also happen more often. And Singapore being Singapore, right, throwing food randomly on the ground and walking away, it's considered littering. So, whether you feed them or not, I'm pretty neutral on the topic, but feed them responsibly. And if possible, let's feed these dogs away from residential areas so that our own, neighbourhood cats can also stay protected and safe as well. And yes, I know many of you really like dogs and cats, but At the same time, I know some of you can't have pets, right? Be it your parents don't allow, or maybe your lifestyle don't really suit having pets. And so I just want to end this video in a very light-hearted note and remind all of you that, there are many places that you can volunteer at, like at Save Our Street Dogs. And yeah, for many non-profits, we do need as many volunteers as we can to do the good work, So that could be an option if you are, able to. But if you want to just give it a test try at being around free roaming doggos, I think Pulau Ubin is a perfect place to be, just to look at these fellas and to hang around them. And who can ever complain about enjoying these wonderful rustic views on the island while having some animal friends by your side? And so this marks the end of today's video, but before we go, I'd like to give a big shout out to our patrons. Mr. Chu, Spot Mesh, Runo, No, England, HR Queen, Limperts, Muffin, Nanana, Simart, Jelly, Jets, Kappa AA5, Pingu Master, Jablock, Tango, Amodilo, Neko Sama, Uncle Sam, Amelia, Uncle Kyong, Fauzi, Waylon, Crooked Spider, Low Eli, Big Three Circles, Amy, Stacy, Lou, Quack, Mama and Momo, youtube.com/@additionalmath and Pixel. Thank you so much for supporting this channel directly, and if you would like to do the same, you can find the link to my Patreon down in the description below. Do also follow me on my other social media platforms and subscribe to watch more videos of our local ecology. Thanks again for watching, and remember, keep your eyes peeled because it is a rustic jungle out there with a lot of, very special dogs around you. Okay, bye-bye.